I'm going to do a beer can chicken, and this is one of my favorites to do. Uh, you can put any kind of rub you want on there, any kind of spices that you want, and it'll take about an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half to cook. And so you don't have to pay that close attention to it like you would something with a really hot grill like burgers or steaks. You don't have to be right on it. I really enjoy doing these. Again, I got a whole chicken here, and I figure a whole chicken feeds about 4 people. And today we're going to use a big green egg. Now you could use your PK grill, you could use your Weber grill, any type of grill that you want to use, but you're going to need to cook it indirect. If you use a Weber grill, if you look at our last video on our spatchcock chicken, we show how to put your charcoal to the side on that Weber grill, and you'll be able to have that indirect cooking, or you could put it to one side. There's a lot of there's some videos on our channel about how to cook indirect on the Weber. If you're using a pellet grill, it's going to be indirect. If you're using an offset grill, it's going to be indirect. If you're using one of the new gravity-fed grills, that's going to be indirect. But what I'm going to do on the egg is we're going to use a heat deflector or plate setter, and I'll show you how to do that when we light the charcoal. And then we're going to come back and we're going to be using lump charcoal in the egg. That's all I use. I don't use briquettes. And I'll show you how I'm going to season up this chicken, and we'll get this boy on, and I'm going to make some mouths happy here in just a few minutes. Now, I really like using this electric loop lighter. Uh, it's quick, it's easy, it's obviously no chemicals involved. It takes about a minute or so, and then you got your charcoal started. You can start 2 or 3 places. I find on the egg here, all I need to start one place. Got the bottom vent open. Of course, the lid's going to be open for a moment. And then this thing works great. I've had this for years and years, and I've never been disappointed in using this. One of the things about the lid on this, because you can't take it off, the chimney fitting in there is sometimes a little awkward. So again, I just like using this, and you can tell I've used it a lot. So in this charcoal, or this lump that I used, I was at the end of my bag, so I had a lot of small pieces, and that was one of the reasons you know, you could see all the popping and hearing all the crackling. Generally, that'll happen when you get down toward the end because you got smaller pieces. Is what I found. This was a master built lump that I bought at Walmart. I wanted to give it a try, and I've been satisfied with it. I'll buy another bag of it. I think it was 11, 12 bucks. Been real satisfied with it. I'm sure one of the major charcoal manufacturers, Kingsford or Embers or one of the others, Royal Oak maybe makes it. I'm not sure. I haven't done any research on that, but been real satisfied with that. So that's all we got to do to get it lit. And then we're going to start getting this chicken prepared to go on. Once it's lit, I'm going to go ahead and put my deflector in. I'll show you a picture of that, but I'll go ahead and put that in, and we'll be back to put this chicken on. Okay, so our charcoal, our lump's coming along good. Still getting up to the right temperature. But what I have here is a whole chicken, and that is one of my. When I buy chicken, I usually buy whole chickens. It's easy to cut up. Once you learn to cut a chicken up, you save some money, and then you can cut up whatever pieces you want. So I've cleaned it. Well, usually they'll put some of the livers and maybe some of the neck parts inside the chicken, depending on which brand you get. So I got those out. I dried it off. So what I want to do is I'm going to use olive oil, and and just going to rub the chicken down. This will help your seasoning stick to the chicken, and it'll help give it a nice brown skin. Now I had one of our viewers send me several spices and some rubs and his name's Randall Bender, and I want to tell him thank you. He sent them to me some time back, and I didn't want to think we weren't going to use them. Just sometimes it takes time to get around to doing some things. And he's from the Dayton, Ohio area, so these were spices and rubs that are specific or in that general area up in the Ohio area. I've never seen them down here in North Carolina where we are. And this is a grilling and seasoning rub from Dorothy Lane Market. And so I had to look that up, and I think the headquarters is there in Dayton. It's kind of a gourmet grocery store. I've used this a couple times, just experimenting with it on some pork chops and some other cuts of meat. He also sent me a steak rub, so we'll be getting to that soon. But I thought, man, I saw this in my spice cabinet. Oh, well, this has got to be pretty good on chicken. So I've rubbed this down, and I'm just going to coat my chicken with this rub. Now you could have done it back in the bowl that I had. Light's coming over, hope you're okay. You always know it's not the best helicopter ride you can take. So anyway, so we're going very, very liberal. Spice this chicken up. This has got a very coarse grind, and if you got some extra, you can throw down in there. Now, you can definitely use a beer can, or a Coke can, or Mountain Dew can chicken. Beer can chicken always just sounds better. And you could take this and set it down and set the chicken on top of it. Not a problem, done it a lot. All types of holders that you can use, but I'm going to tell you, the beer has absolutely nothing to do with the taste. It's just all about the moisture that you're putting inside the cavity of the chicken. Almost steaming it, well, not almost, but you are steaming it to some point in there along with the smoking of the charcoal. But I found this, a little roaster. It's actually for a turkey, but it works for chicken just great. I think I paid 50 cents for it at a thrift store. I enjoy going to thrift stores. I find all type of high-end cookware, knives, other kitchen gadgets, mandolins, not the music mandolin, but the one where you cut. But I paid 50 cents. I don't know what this would have cost new, more than 50 cents. But I really like it. But what I'm going to do is just going to pour the beer into here. Again, people talk about wine and beer and all types of things. You're not going to get any taste from that. And so then you're just going to, and before I do that, let's put some of that seasoning down in here. Not waste it. And so you're going to take the end of your chicken and whatever frame that you want to use, or a beer can, that's what you're going to do. Now, some people will tuck these in back like this. I don't really think that's necessary. You could tie it up. I'm just going to let it hang out the way it is. And we're going to get the grill. So what our temperature we're going to use is around 350 degrees, and it'll take about an hour to hour and 15 minutes. We want an internal temperature on this chicken of 165, and that's where it's done. And we'll test that with our instant read probe when we get close to that. So again, our whole chicken rubbed down with olive oil. You could use any type of oil you want to use. I just enjoy using olive oil. I'm trying to get away from type seed oil. I get it, olive oil may fall into that category, but I think it's a little healthier than some of the other seed oils. And so we're gonna get this, give it just a moment to get our temperature back up, or get our temperature to where we want it. We'll put the diffuser plate in and get this bird on the grill. Okay, you'll see that we have our diffuser plate put into our grill here, right below the grate, And that is on an egg or a Kamado style grill. That's what turns it into indirect. Because of the conical shape, you can't put charcoal on one side or the other. So you have to put this plate in if you want to do indirect or heat cooking, if you're not wanting to get it up hot for like a pizza or steaks or something. And that's what we want. Again, you want to use indirect heat doing a beer can chicken. And we're going to be putting I'm going to be putting I'm going to be putting my probe on there for my eye grill, so I can monitor the grate temperature. Even though I have a thermometer on the lid, I want to know what the grate temperature of this cooking is. Alright, let's get this bird on. Alright, so we're just gonna get our bird right here in the center. We're getting our temperature up. And that's where it's going to be. And through the magic of video, we'll see you back in about an hour and 15 minutes. And we'll leave this open. Be doing some heat adjusting here in just a few minutes. Alright folks, so it's been about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes. And we've maintained around 350. Sometimes I checked it would spike up to 400, so I had to do some adjusting on the egg. Everything is shut down. The bottom vent shut down. I've got the top vent just barely open. Got some really good clean smoke coming out, and we're going to test the temperature of this bird and see what we got. Remember, we want to be at 165, a minimum. We don't want to be much higher than that, or we're going to start drying it out. Anytime you open an egg, you want to open it very slowly, one, because you're going to get some steam out, but you also want to, what they call, burp the egg. And that is one beautiful looking bird. So we've got our instant read thermometer. Yep, 168, 170. So this bird is done. And so we are perfect. What I'm going to use to take this off is my real big old hamburger turner. This works good for me. Put that up. Close everything down. And that, folks, is one beautiful, beautiful looking bird. I'm going to be curious to see how that Dorothy Lane seasoning. So we are ready here at the compound for the Blue Plate Special. Let's see how this bird comes apart. Oh, perfect. Yeah, it's wanting to come apart as I cut. And I'm usually right-handed, so I'm using these tongs with my left hand. One of the ways you know when a chicken is done is when the juice is running clear. Look at that bird. Just wants to come right apart. That beer that we had in there, and then that seasoning. And that's going to be hot. We've got our leg quarters. And that's going to be a little bit of the backbone. That juice is running clear. That is one beautiful piece of chicken there. Get this out. that off. Nice piece of breast meat there. I'm not butchering it as bad as it looks like on camera, but just coming right down that breastbone there. And that'll be some good picking for the chef there. So remember, folks, whole chicken you want to cook indirect, whatever grill you're using, and remember about an hour and a half. Keep it at 350, and rub it with whatever sauce you want to use, or spice rub rather. And that is a perfect beer can chicken. Like and subscribe, and see you next time here at Fat Off the Bone.